give them a shot to do what?
Welcome, sports fans, to the hottest sports podcast in the game, JT and the Don, with your hosts, Jimmy Thompson and Donato Bucci. They're covering the most current issues in sports from the 305 to the 412 and all the way to the West Coast. You can follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at JT and the Don, or email them at jtandthedon@gmail.com. Now take it away, guys.
Welcome to the next episode of JT and the Don, presented by Give Us a Shot Network. I am the Don, Donato Bucci, and remember to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you find all of your other favorite podcasts. And remember to leave us a 5-star review. Thank you to Nicole Thompson for the wonderful introduction, and to our guy Mike Regina with the JT and the Don intro music. Well, I know JT is pumped today because his Miami Heat with a big signing Haywood Highsmith to a deal. So with that said, let me welcome in everyone's favorite, JT, Jimmy Thompson. I don't even need to ask today. I know how you feeling.
Why you always do this, man? Every time I got to deal with you. Like, you know how I feel about Haywood Highsmith. They should have got more minutes in both the Boston series and the Denver
That's why
series.
you're pumped. Did I lie?
I am, but come on, man. You're making it seem like the news broke that we just got Dame, man. Stop playing around. See, this is what happens when your hometown doesn't have an NBA team. You start messing around. Stop bullshitting, man.
Yep. Well, speaking of the NBA and Pittsburgh not having a basketball team, the San Antonio Spurs, fortunately for them and their fan base, they do, as Victor Wembenyama, I got it right, JT.
I'm really impressed, man. You haven't been able to say that name since for like 2-3 years. Now all of a sudden you know how to say it.
Professional at it now.
Good
so
practice.
He made his summer league debut last Friday and played one other game this past Sunday. So his final total stats for 2 games, 36 points, 20 rebounds, 8 blocks, and 3 assists on 41% shooting on average from the floor. He played a total of 54 minutes in those 2 games. So, JT, according to you, a good or bad debut for Wemby?
All right, so I'm not the best math person, but those 2 games comes out to, I think, like 18 points, 10 boards, 4 blocks. I'm taking that. And plus, he had 5 blocks in his debut. Like, so what? He struggled with shooting. Like, that's to be expected. Every rookie coming into the NBA level is going to struggle with their shot at some point, even when they're a good shooter at the previous level. He showed flashes of why NBA, circles and GMs are already saying, like, by year 3, he's going to be at least the best defensive player in the league. Like, this is what we expected. And he's already can average double-digit points and rebounds to go along with the, defensive game he has. Yeah, I thought he did really well. Now, is it the generational that we expected? No, but is some of that unrealistic and unattainable? Yes, we've already talked about that before. But from what I've seen, I thought he did good. He looked fine to me.
Yeah, if we're picking between those 2, good or bad, I'm going to go good as well because of his second game, he went 9 of 14 shooting, 2 of 4 from the 3-point range. He had 27 points, 12 boards, no assists, but still had 3 blocks and 7 of 12 for the free throw line. He's got to improve that a little bit, but I agree with you. Whatever he does, he won't be able to fulfill those expectations like for some fans, for some people. And so no matter what he did in those 2 games, unless he's dropped 50 in both games, it was never going to be good enough.
Yeah, it's like he was never going to live up to the hype. But I tell you what, as much criticism as Wembenyama is getting, I tell you what, why is nobody talking about last year's top 2 pick, Chet Holmgren, who was hurt all last year? He's looking pretty good in summer league so far. I know you and me gonna be going back and forth on these fantasy drafts with these 2 guys. Like, I have a feeling somebody might pull the trigger in the first round on one of these guys. But Chet Holmgren last year, he was injured. People were like, is he too small to play in the NBA? He looking really dominant too, showing the same defensive ability that Wembenyama has. So I think he's in good hands with these 2.
Hey, I thought Orlando should have went with Chet early on.
I mean, but you got Paolo. How could you be upset with that?
I'm happy with that. I was going to say you didn't let me finish. I'm happy with Banchero. He's shown a lot of promise. But something else with Wembenyama, he showed that versatility, JT, that everyone wanted to see. He can shoot the outside shot, right? He can play make. He had some nice dishes in that first game primarily. And then he can protect the rim. Like, those are all the things that we were expecting of him, and he did it in that second game, playmaking more so in the first game. And don't forget, he's 19.
Yeah, he's young.
He's 19. He's only going to get better. But if I can throw out two concerns, what I thought was weird was in transition offensively, he wasn't as fast as I thought. Like, I thought Dwight Howard
said he was fast.
I thought – well, I mean, I just thought,
you know why you thought he was fast is because everyone throws around this, like he's this freakish talent. It's like, just because you a freak don't mean you fast. It's not the same thing. Like, because I'm sorry, if we were talking about something that concerns me about him is I told you before we did a show, the last show, is that I've seen Wembenyama get bullied by guys that can't make the G League over here.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about him, staying on his feet defensively against smaller guys that can handle the ball at the 4. Like,
well,
he's going to get put on skates, pretty early and often.
I thought also I was worried about him defensively, but another reason from what I saw in these two games, he got back down in the paint.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, that was happening to him in France.
Right. And it's funny, and I got to give it a shout out to my father who watches the show along with my mother every show. So I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. He mentioned that something that Wembenyama said in the media after the second game is that he thinks it's less physical in the NBA than in Europe. And let me tell you something.
He's going to regret saying that.
Right. Wembenyama, if you're saying that now and you're getting backed down by guys that are maybe only summer league players, can you imagine what happens when you get to the NBA? So, pump the brakes on there that Europe's more physical. So just pump the brakes a little bit. But JT, are the Spurs doing the right thing, shutting him down for the remainder of the summer league?
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be your franchise player. He's going to be a starter for the next decade, hopefully. So, I mean, whether he plays good or bad in the summer league is not going to, determine what his role will be. So protect your investment, shut him down. We've already seen injuries in the summer league. Scoot, Amen Thompson, they're already hurt. So we already talked about this before. I don't think top 5 picks should be playing in the summer league anyway. Summer league should be for guys that are actually trying to fight to make a roster. Like, I don't need summer league to show me that Wembenyama can block 5 shots. Like, we know he can do that. But I want to make sure that they're shutting him down for health concerns, and not the other thing that I'm hearing is that they want to protect him from media criticism. Because he even said something, I think it was on Twitter, where he's like, he's happy that they decided to shut him down so he can go and, enjoy his summer and not focus on basketball. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that. Because you're a superstar. Like, that's going to happen. Like, LeBron didn't get that kind of ability to just, go away from the media in his summer league or at any point during his career. He had to fight through criticism at every step of his career from the time he stepped on the NBA court until now. So Wembenyama, you're up there as far as hype with LeBron. So that means you don't get to sit out the round of criticism from everybody else. So I want to make sure the Spurs are doing it for health reasons and not because the kid is fragile. Because if he's fragile, that is what I'm worried about his long-term potential in the NBA.
Well, I think, yes, they're doing the right thing, even though I reluctantly say it, because it's like, I want to see, as a fan, I want to see more of him. So that's why I want
to see him when the games matter, though. Because I would sacrifice a summer league Zion to get, a full NBA season of him. And if me holding him out of summer league can help Zion play more games, I'm definitely going to take that option.
Yeah. And so I've seen enough, and let's just,
2 games, you've seen enough.
I've seen enough, at least to know that, okay, hey, it's all there, right? Now, whether he performs like that every night, can play to that elite level in terms of, like, can he play like the greats? I don't know. We'll need to see, but it is there. The talent is there. There's no doubt. So I've seen enough. Don't want to see him injured. We saw that last year with Chet Holmgren, right? I think it happened during the summer league. So the other thing is we don't have these debates when it comes to the OTAs in NFL preseason. We're okay with guys missing those, or we're okay with, hey, rookies are going to OTA. So like, I don't think is an issue. I don't necessarily agree with you though, that you're worried like, oh, is he fragile or this or that? You know what? The Spurs have shown most of the moves they ever make work out. So if they think he needs to go relax on the beach somewhere, have at it. Like,
you just want your boss to say that. You know what? We feel Don is fragile today. We don't think he can take the rigors of the job. Why don't you just go hide away on the beach for the rest of the summer?
I'm not saying
no boss or employer is gonna say that, especially in sports. It's like, you know what? Do we want our prized possession in here in the building, putting in work, getting better, showing up on the court, or do we want him to just go chill in the south of France somewhere for the rest of the summer to enjoy his youth? Nobody's gonna say that.
NBA players do it all the time. Look at the banana boat with
because they're all-stars already in the off season, and guess what? They've already trained and they've built that time into their training regimen. Wembenyama's trying to go to prom. It's not the same.
He's been playing a
look. I'm not about to argue about. I'm not going to argue with you about this.
In France.
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna argue. What's the next question? Because you gonna pull me down this rabbit hole, and I'm gonna end up being pissed off and yelling at you. What's the next one?
I'm right. He's been playing a whole pro schedule.
Stop trying to project what you want to happen in your work career through Wembenyama.
It has nothing to do with that.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, you're ridiculous.
If this was a Pittsburgh Steeler, you'd be like, "Oh, that guy needs to be in the building. He's weak if he doesn't work out in the summer." Please.
I'm moving on to the next question because you're making no sense now. So, should top 5 picks play or not in the NBA Summer League?
Nope. We've had this conversation for years. I don't think they should be. We already know. It's not like they're going to get cut or don't play. You're counting on these guys to be franchise cornerstones. Like, I would hate for him to roll his ankle in the first game of Summer League, and now he's out for like 4 to 6 weeks, and it's stunting his development. So, sit him out.
I disagree with you. I think they should because, one, it's good exposure for the NBA game. Look at the crowds they are drawing. Like, that is just good globally for the game. So every once in a while, you got to do what's good for the game. But this is the main thing. They need that extra work. You just said Victor Wembanyama should not be going to the French beach because he should be putting work in. Well, that's what you do here. You go to practice. All right, you go to.
Is this your burner account? Don puts
that's my guy. That's my guy.
No, he don't. He don't put any work in the summer.
You
know what his summer work includes? Annoying the shit out of me on the phone 24/7, texting me at obnoxious hours, 7 a.m. Are you up? Noon. Trade requests, 3 p.m. Like,
I put whatever it is I do, I put the work in. All right, like you'll see at the end.
I'm not gonna lie, you are full-time annoying, so I'll give you that.
But Scotty, thanks for listening. So the thing is, they need that extra work. You were just criticizing Wembenyama, and it's like, listen, get in there, do the practices, games, and this is what I'll say about the games. JT, if they're a college player, they would go 7 months without a structured real game under the lights, like with fans. Think about it. They end in March, and then October is when the NBA season starts. I don't want a rookie. I don't want an 18, 19-year-old going 7 months without a pressure type of situation with fans in the building.
No, I don't want Zion Williamson going 7 months without any exercise. That's totally different. I get it, though.
Whatever.
So your answer to the question is
somewhere.
No. It's no. Okay, cool. It's no. I get it. I disagree.
They should play. It's play or not. They should play. And this is the other reason. I'll leave it at this. They're going to play somewhere. It may be at Rucker Park. It may be some other tournament. Like, they're going to play somewhere. So at least the NBA is going to get something out of it.
All right. Agree to disagree. All right, so we're going to talk about baseball. MLB All-Star Game, Tuesday night, National League. They beat the American League 3-2 for the first time since 2012. Damn, dominance. But it's got me thinking, MLB All-Star Game has a lot of memorable moments. What's your favorite moment?
Oh, you're saying all time. All right.
Or I took it as one that you saw, but you can go with all time.
Yeah. All right.
For me, it's easy. Like the easy one that I saw is I'm pretty sure on everyone's list, and I'll get that out the way, is It's
Okay.
Bryce Harper winning the home run derby with his dad pitching. Like, to me, that was cool.
Yeah, I got you. So I'm gonna go with two. So I worked the 2006 All-Star game, so that was a unique thing. So I'll always cherish that.
Yeah, what happened to those connections? I haven't seen the All-Star. You don't give me any All-Star games. Damn, if you were at an All-Star game,
you call me annoying. Why would I get you tickets?
Because you do shit like this. Do the non-annoying stuff. Get me to games. Like, that stuff, if you're texting me about, hey, JT, you want to go to an All-Star game, you want to go to a Final Four, that stuff is cool. But don't text me of all this other stuff. Like, damn, like, you're holding out.
I'm trying to make fantasy trades. So that was special. Family, friends, co-workers. That was great. I'd have to say, though, the 1994 All-Star Home Run Derby, which also was in Pittsburgh, that I attended live. Ken Griffey Jr., man. Frank Thomas hit a bomb upper deck, and that was the old cookie cutter stadiums at Three Rivers where the upper deck was a legit upper deck.
Moonshot.
But Ken Griffey Jr. turned the hat backwards, won it, the only 3-time winner. He put on a show that day, and this was before like putting on shows nowadays where it was you got 10 outs, right? You didn't have 3 minutes. You had 10 outs. Once you did your 10 outs, you were done. He put on a show. Never forget that backwards hat. It was awesome. Everyone was doing that.
Damn, speaking of Ken Griffey, like, he's got so many memorable moments. And then you forget about, wasn't he the guy that gave up the Ichiro in the park home run in the All-Star game? I feel like it was him in the outfield making a mistake, and Ichiro was able to do that.
I don't recall that.
I think it was. I think
get
it
our
was.
stat crew on it. Go get our stat crew on it.
I think it was in 07. But I think the answer to this question is pretty obvious, but I got to ask the question anyway. Is the MLB All-Star, just the festivities, the whole moment, the game, the home run derby and stuff like that, is it the best All-Star game in sports?
I think so, yes. I mean, home run derby in particular, like, it never disappoints. It never disappoints. Like, and the stars are willing to do it. We saw Vlad Guerrero, and he won it, right? Like, we're seeing the stars do it, the young stars, Julio Rodriguez. So, I mean, think about three-point competition, slam dunk, that doesn't always get the best guys. It disappoints. And listen, it's a midsummer night. The lights are on. And the All-Star game has defense and pitching. Like, we've always wanted that in the Pro Bowl game and in the NHL All-Star game and the NBA All-Star game. So, MLB All-Star game has it all. Home runs, hits, stolen bases, guys wearing mics, pitching, defense. Like, it's got it all. So I think it's easily.
Yeah, I agree with you. The
game.
game itself is the best All-Star game because it incentivizes them to actually play and participate in the game and win. Because there's ramifications if you don't win as a team. And I agree with you. I think the home run derby is overtaking the dunk contest just because they do have the star power. And I know they're both repetitive things, hitting a home run and dunking a basketball. But I feel like the dunking the basketball, it just depends on who's doing it. I think that draws in more people. Whereas if anybody's hitting home runs, they're hitting a bunch and breaking records. I still want to see that because I think that feat is it's a crazy feat to do. But star power, impressive factor, I just think the home run derby is better than anything the NBA has been putting out. And then the All-Star game, like I said, is better because the stars actually have something to play for.
Well, don't forget, they changed it now, right? There's no more of that ramification of home field advantage anymore. So just to be clear.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, overall, like, I feel like it has been better because of that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before we go on to the next one. MLB in those All-Star game uniforms, which is different than in the past. I think they've done it now the last 2 or 3 years, which is away from the standard, what the normal, the traditional way of how they did it, where each player wore their own team jersey. Do you like those MLB uniforms? Just real quick, just curious your thoughts.
I always like the team jerseys because it's like, I don't know, you don't really get to see that very often where, like, you get an All-Star game, you get to represent your team, and I think it gives, like, a sense of pride to those people that are watching that individual represent that team.
Right. And it's
especially back in the day because, like, if your team is bad, but you get, like, a guy that makes the All-Star game and he's starting and you get to see that uniform out there and he's balling, I think that's, like, the best thing they can look forward to all year.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should go back to it. I know there's money involved. It's like, how many of those actual All-Star game uniforms are you selling that it's going to make a lot of money for MLB? I don't know. All right, so going back to the NBA, we're well into the NBA free agency period at this point in July, but there's always trade rumors, or at least JT will either make them up or he'll find them somewhere out there on the web.
Oh, you know what? Shame on me for doing some investigative work. Because if it was up to you, we wouldn't have shit to talk about. We wouldn't be ahead of the curve on anything. We wouldn't know anything. Damn, you just expect to show up and have everything just laid out for you. Like, oh, we're talking about this. Cool. Like, no, you have to actually put your ear to the ground and find some shit out. I'm gonna teach you how to do it.
You got sources. That's great. All right, so let's play a segment.
I'll trade some of my sources for some of those ticket hookups you got. I know you're not gonna share.
Well, you're not gonna share your sources either. So let's play a segment we haven't played in a while. Love it, like it, trash it. All right. We will read a trade rumor, and you say if you love it, like it, or trash it from the player's perspective. All right. So first one, Pascal Siakam to my Orlando Magic.
Trash it. Just because they already have two guys that don't fit well with him on the court, and Wendell Carter, and then your guy Paolo Banchero, who's, everyone says he's going to be a superstar. So where does Pascal Siakam fit in there? And then add in Franz Wagner, who's like a 6'8" ball handler, and it makes zero sense. Plus, speaking about rumors, him and Fred VanVleet are already on the rumor record saying that the biggest frustration they had in Toronto last year was the play of the young players. So how would coming to the Orlando Magic make that any better? I just don't see that being a fit for him.
Yeah, trash it. Again, what you said, similar guys at that position. And, Orlando needs, please, Orlando, go get guys that can slash, get to the hoop, create their own shot off the dribble, and hit some threes every once in a while and play defense on a perimeter.
So what you want them to do is bring Dwayne Wade out of retirement.
If Dwayne Wade's 25 years old.
Yeah,
all right.
He wouldn't be going to the Magic.
So Pascal Siakam to the Pacers.
Love it. Because now this is a team that fits with his skill set. You put him with Tyrese Halliburton, who is, if not the best assist man, he's the top 5 assist man in the NBA. So that opens up a lot for Siakam. And then they have a stretch rim protector in Miles Turner, which I think is also a good fit with Siakam. So you got two bigs that can do stuff inside out. They both can shoot, they can score, and then you put a guy like that with Halliburton. I think it's a great fit. To me, I know people are going to say, "All right, you crazy." I think Siakam in Indy in the Pacers is a better fit than when Sabonis was there. Like the way that roster is currently constructed. So I think that is a place he should be wanting to go.
Well, don't forget though, Halliburton was not there with Sabonis.
I get it, but he still wasn't a good fit with Miles Turner, and I think that's why they were like, we got to find a way to break this up. Would it have worked with Halliburton? Maybe, because I didn't think Sabonis would work with De'Aaron Fox, but here we are. But I think Siakam is a better fit, just the way that team is currently put together.
Well, yeah, I love this as well. I mean, they go and get two guys in the first round, Jarris Walker, point or power forward, and then Ben Shepherd, a 3-and-D wing type of guy. Then they bring in JT Obi Toppin, which that's the one. It's like, man, you already spent 2 second-round picks on Toppin. Him and Siakam, I don't know how that would gel, but you just signed Bruce Brown, and it's like this team is looking kind of nice. And they're young.
They're about to go from the basement to the play-in, like real fast, so they get Siakam.
To the play-in, maybe to the penthouse if they got Siakam. Chill. I'm just saying. You just said it. You're gonna have Halliburton.
You are such an Orlando Magic fan. Only you thinking bringing one player into with a bunch of role players that had a good season the year before take you to the penthouse.
Well, watch your mouth because Halliburton's not a role player.
I'm not saying he is, but damn, you said Bruce Brown and Obi Toppin.
You kind of said, but they already
those are going to be all-star players. I love Bruce Brown. Go Caves, but come on, man.
But you mentioned the other pieces, and this is the thing. Him and Halliburton are going to be the guys. They're going to be the men there. So, I like that for Siakam. What about your guy Luka Doncic to Utah?
I mean, I want to say what I really want to say, but I know it's going to cost me too much of a fine. But I love this. And I love it because I just trust Danny Ainge more than I trust Mark Cuban. And look at what Utah has set up. Lauri Markkanen, that's been my guy for the past 3 years. He's become an all-star, and He's going to be the best wing that Luka's ever played with in his career, which matters. And then you look at Utah, what they've done. They have 10 first-round picks over the next 3 years to build around them, whether they want to draft guys or trade those picks to bring in more guys to put around Luka. If he's going to leave to go somewhere and he wants like long-term success, I think Utah is it, just because he's going to be in good hands with management, and they actually have the pieces outside of the Thunder draft capital-wise to get it done.
Trash it. It's Utah, bro. You can't win there. You can't win. Karl Malone, Stockton couldn't win. Donovan Mitchell couldn't win there. Like, you can't win. You cannot win there. And I don't care. Danny Ainge can have 50.
Who are you? You Mike Singletary now? you can't win with him. Like, let's get this straight.
No. I'm saying
hold on. Let's get this straight.
I'm staying in Utah
because you what we're not going to do is we're not going to act like Karl Malone and John Stockton not winning was because they were in Utah. No, it was because of Michael Jordan. Okay, let's get that straight. It had nothing to do with Utah.
Oh, so all the other 15 years they played together was always Jordan's fault. Okay, Jordan has 17 rings now.
Hey man, how many years Jordan went to the finals?
All right, 6.
Okay, that's 6 years of prime Stockton. That's 6 years of prime Stockton and prime Malone. That they at the apex they had to play Jordan. You had like the Phoenix Suns weren't good. Come on, man. Like, it had nothing to do with Utah.
Can I finish? It does. You're
playing bullshit.
I love how you're putting it all on the other teams and not blaming Utah for not winning. But as soon as you want to do it with another team, you're blaming those guys. Oh, they couldn't win. Like, okay, you can't win in Utah. You just can't. Plain and simple. No free agent's going to go there. No free agent's going to go there. You could have 50 first-round picks. If you don't use those correctly, it doesn't matter. You need to still be able to draft. And I love how people put all this stock in the draft picks like you're going to hit on all of them. You're not. You could go 0 for 10 in those 3 picks. Or you could go 0 for 10 in those 3 years.
Dang going 0 for 10.
And it's Utah. No one's going to care. Like, if you have a bad night or a good night, you're not leading off on SportsCenter. Plain and simple. Right?
Carly says, Pascal to Orlando, Luka to Utah, it don't matter. Heat in 5. She's right. Absolutely right.
In the first
once we get Dame, we back in there.
Oh, wait. Heat in 5 to losing 5 in the finals like they just did to Denver? All right. So,
yeah, right.
Paul George to the Timberwolves.
Trash it. He's washed. Next.
But I said the player perspective, bro.
He should just want to take his ball and go home. Trash it.
Love it. You're 33. Go chase a title. Go chase the title because your body is breaking down.
Go chase a title? Minnesota.
Go chase the title. But he would be going to a T-Wolves team, which I think would be a force. They may be the favorites in the West if he goes there. They've got Gobert, Cat, and Anthony Edwards, who they just signed. Now you bring in Paul George. Paul George as your 4th option, the shutdown guy. I mean, you would love it for him at 33. Go to Minnesota. I know it's not LA, but you're going to have a better chance than the Clippers because Kawhi, we don't know when he's playing or when he's healthy.
Well, your teammates will be healthy. That's the main thing.
There you go.
Healthier.
There you go. Go to Minnesota. Zach LaVine to Portland.
Oh, love it. If I'm him, this is the ultimate place I want to go because I get to go out west where no one's watching the games and I get to be Diet Dame and jack up all the shots I want. And my teammates can't do shit about it because the Blazers just paid me the max contract. Yes, LaVine, go out there, do what you want to do. It's exactly where I want to end up because I don't want to go to the Knicks because I'm going to go there, I'm going to lose, and there's going to be pressure on me. I can just go to Portland, jack up my shots, get my money, and just go on and ride off into the sunset. You said from the player perspective. That's exactly what I'm thinking if I'm going to Portland. It ain't to win. It's to make money and pad my stats.
Well, I look at it differently. Trash it because just stay in Chicago. Why not try to just do it in Chicago? You've got pieces around you. But this is the thing. In Portland, Dame's going to be there. I don't care. You can be. I know you're an optimistic Heat fan. You think the deal. Is done.
I've never accused you of being a hater of the Heat. I've never have. But you are trended dangerously close to that line, bro. Like I get it. I think you feel like the Miami Heat. They've had enough chances to win championships, and now they get Damian Lillard when the Orlando Magic just keep getting shitty draft picks. Like I get where the hate is coming from. But bro, Dame is not staying in Portland. Nobody wants Dame to stay in Portland. They want him to get out. Like it's a Shawshank. They want him to get out finally. You should feel the same way. Let that man out of Portland.
But anyway,
you just hated that he's coming to Miami.
But anyway, they're going to be patient. So there's no guarantee Dame leaves. And even if he does leave, you're a ball player. You're a star.
So answer the question as if Dame is gone. Because obviously LaVine wouldn't go there if Dame is still there.
Can I finish my points? Can I finish my points?
Get to it.
Let's say Dame leaves. You go there. Why would any star, any potential superstar, want to go to a place where West Coast game, so no one's watching? The money's going to be in Chicago. You're acting like LaVine can only
expectations to win are going to be in Chicago too, which are unrealistic. Which is what I just said.
How is it
Get the money,
unrealistic?
go out west, jack up, be Diet Dame, and ride up.
No one is going to know you. No one will remember you.
I don't care.
Yes,
I don't care, baby.
But you're looking at JT that you don't like the pressure. You can't handle the pressure. LaVine can. He wants it. He wants the smoke.
Cool.
You don't want the smoke.
All right, cool. Next time we in the same city, we playing one-on-one. First one to 21. Winner gets $500. Let's see. Let's talk about pressure there.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Let's go. Because again, you're facing me and not the NBA. You don't want that smoke. If I put a 6'3" guy on,
I thought you were supposed to be the Pat Bev of pickup basketball. You are a defensive pest, right? Like you're supposed to be a defensive stopper. So I shouldn't be able to score on you, right?
Well,
he's like, I played you before. I'm not putting the $500.
All right, Damian Lillard, your guy to Boston.
I love it because it would allow Jason Tatum to be a number 2 and probably the best number 2 since Kevin Durant went to the Warriors. And honestly, I think it would be unfair in the East if Damian Lillard went to Boston. So for him, I love it, but as the Heat fan, I hate it.
Of course. I mean, I love it. Like, I think he should stay in Portland personally, but if he were to leave, I mean, Boston is the spot. Like, the difference I would say between Boston and Miami is this, JT. Let's say he goes, let's play a hypothetical.
Oh, I know the difference between Boston and Miami. One, you want to go back to and live, and the other one, you wouldn't be caught dead going to live in Boston.
So, well, that's one difference. But two, and more importantly for Dame is, let's say he goes hypothetical, he goes to Miami, wins a title. All right, great. Heat fans are happy. But you know what happens in 5 years? They still love D-Wade. They forget Lillard was on that team. He goes to Boston. Look at what Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen did when they weren't even drafted by Boston. They weren't seen initially as Celtic guys. They win one title. They win one title 14 years ago, 15 years ago now, and they're still legends there. Celtic fans love them. Dame, go do the same thing. They haven't won in 15 years. They'll love you.
I think you're wrong. First of all, nobody has milked a title longer than the Boston Celtics. I don't even think first of all, I don't even think people in Boston care as much as, bro, Rondo, KG, Paul Pierce. They are PR guys because they keeping this title in the press for life. That's why you think people in Boston cares, because every chance they get, they bringing that shit up, man. Nobody in Boston cares about that. They like
I'm pretty sure they do.
But KG and Paul Pierce is keeping that going, man.
I'm pretty sure they do.
All right, look, I'm gonna throw in one last one because it just came across my feed today.
Who's the source?
It's probably likely gonna happen. James Harden, LA Clippers.
Is that with Kawhi and PG?
I don't know, but basically the report is James Harden is not trying to go back to Philly. He's unhappy the way Daryl Morey handled his free agency contract situation, and he is going to do whatever it takes to end up on the Clippers.
You know what? If we're looking at James Harden's point of view, sure, I like it. I mean,
if I'm James Harden, I love it. I mean, I gotta strictly from the James Harden standpoint, I gotta imagine the money's gonna be better. It's LA compared to Philly, and the strip clubs are probably better in LA than in Philly. So
I knew you had to bring that up.
No, I'm just saying, because he's on record saying that the strip clubs in Brooklyn were trash. So it makes sense why he put on the fat suit and tried to get out of there ASAP. Then he went to Philly, who I would imagine the strip club would be a little bit better there. Apparently not good enough for James Harden because he was willing to go back to Houston. Houston said, hell no. So LA, I guess, would be the next bet. And that's also why Miami was probably rumored to get him too, because Miami is a part of the strip club king.
There we go.
So,
that's part of the contract with James Harden.
It's James Harden. First of all, do you know what James Harden is known for? Ask any stripper that has worked where James Harden on a team, they would say he's a legend. Like, probably 5% of his contract earnings have gone to the strip club. Like, he has donated heavily to the strip club. So LA versus Philly, I'm going to take my money betting that LA has the better strip clubs. So that's where James Harden would want to go. And plus, who wants to go to the Lakers just to lose and be criticized with LeBron? So let's go to the Clippers. Out West, no expectations. They expect you to underperform. He can go out there, put up his numbers, and get his money. I love it if I'm James Harden.
Zach says Dame don't want to play for those scrubs. I'm guessing
Indeed, he
don't. To the Celtics. Yeah, maybe or maybe not. But then he'll go there and beat you guys in 5.
So speaking of scrubs, I hate that they fall into this. This level.
They don't fall into it. That's hard.
Maybe one of them has.
Harsh,
but let's talk.
Harsh.
So let's talk about Zion Williamson and Ben Simmons. This is a very good question.
Of course, Zion, you came up with it.
If I did, you'd have been like, think about it, though.
Let's cancel this.
No, I mean, both of these guys definitely need a career year this season. But who do you think is more likely to have a mid-career resurgence, Zion or Ben Simmons?
Come on, man. We both know the answer is Zion. Like, because he's shown it. When he is healthy, he has shown like he can easily be an all-star and maybe more. Like he can be an all-NBA type of guy, all-NBA team type of guy. And when he's healthy, JT, there's no ceiling for Zion. So in terms of like a resurgence mid-career, of course it's Zion because he's done it and he just needs to get on the court, which is different than Ben Simmons, who not only does he need to get on the court, but then he's also got to perform, which he has not done, I feel like, at a high level in a long time at this point. He still can't shoot.
Because I'm sorry, I disagree with you. Because one of those guys is an all-star and the other isn't. One of those guys been to a conference final, the other hasn't. And before you rattle off this Zion,
when's Ben Simmons? List, whoa! When's Ben Simmons been to a conference?
I mean, not conference final, but I'm saying like he's been in the playoffs. Almost got. They were okay. Kawhi Leonard
and
shot
what
away.
What year was he an all-star?
I thought he was an all-star. He was close to being an all-star.
What year?
Anyway.
Okay. So anyway, can I finish? Because you never let me finish. Like, he still can't shoot. Have you seen do your sources? Because you have all these great sources that you won't share. Are they filming him, showing you that, man, he can shoot now? Because he was still passing up layups as far as we know. And then 2 other things. He just needs to get back to respectability. Forget about a resurgence. Get back to being respectable on the court. Because you know what? Your teammates don't trust you. So it's easy. This is Zion. If you're putting money on either one of these, you're putting it on Zion. I know it. Now you can argue something else, and that's fine. But if we're putting money down, as you want to say, $500, I'm putting the 500 on Zion.
So, as much as I would love it to be Zion, it's Ben Simmons just because of everything you said. He can't shoot. Nobody cares. And he still has played at a level where people think he's worth the max contract without taking jump shots. So that means when he's healthy and he gets back on the court, he's able to do those things more easily than when he returns. Guess what? Defense still pass. They can still play 1 through 5. Like, he could be a defensive player of the year. It's easier for him to go back out there and do that. Zion has to come back. He has to be a top 10 player. He's got to be an elite scorer or the best scorer on the team, and he still has to have all those highlight reel dunks to have a resurgence. So I think the guy who doesn't have to take a jump shot and just go out there and pass and play defense, it's easier for him to get back to that than this grandiose vision we have of Zion being Jordan. Like, that's not happening. So I'm going with Ben Simmons.
But that's where you're wrong, because Ben Simmons has been doing that. He did that in Philly, and we crushed him for that. So now all of a sudden, because he can play a little D again, which he's always been able to do. When did his defense go away? When did his rebounding skills go away? They never did. He's still doing exactly what he's doing, except he can't shoot at all. He's passing up layups. So until he does that, they have to take him out in the last 3 minutes because he can't make a free throw. Like, until he can do all those things, there's no resurgence because he's Ben Simmons just treading water. Where's the resurgence? There's no resurgence. Sorry. But
look, to answer your question, you asked, has Ben Simmons ever been an All-Star? StatMuse says he's been an All-Star. He's been selected for the All-Star team 3 times in his career.
Okay, that's fine.
Boom.
That's great. When was the last one? When was the last one?
Oh, so it's not the fact that he made it. It's like, when's the last time he did? I got it. Moving the goalpost.
But JT, it's not. If someone hasn't been good in 10 years and you say, well, he can be good in his 11th year. Meanwhile, I've got a guy that was good 2 years ago. I'm taking the guy that was good 2 years ago.
You just compared this dude to Greg Oden last summer.
Yes.
Took the W, and now that's not good enough.
Because the question is different. We're talking resurgence. I don't trust Ben Simmons. His teammates don't trust
him.
Simmons.
I trust Ben Simmons to get back to playing to the level that I've seen him play at an All-Star level. Then I trust Zion coming back easy. Beauty in the Least says he's too busy being sad about Kendall Jenner. Talking about James. Talking about Ben Simmons.
Beauty in the Least doesn't trust Ben Simmons either. What can I say?
All right. She's seen Zion. She wouldn't trust him either.
Are we done with this? It's clearly Zion. Can we move on? All right, great.
It's not.
All right. So everyone's favorite segment, world famous at this point. We got trademark it. Forget about it or Fugazi. We're going to read a statement. All right. We're going to read a statement. If you agree, you say forget about it. If you don't and you think it's a bad take, say Fugazi. And I got to throw this up real quick because I think Jackson Curtis agrees with me. What have you done for me recently? That's Ben Simmons. He's done nothing. That's
Zion Williamson. He hasn't done shit.
He played last year.
He hasn't done anything except for steal money.
Done with it.
Say how much he hates working out and just getting injured. That's literally all he's done. At least Ben Simmons been in there working out.
We're done with it. All right. So first one, the Angels should trade Shohei Ohtani.
Ooh. Forget about it because it's a lose-lose. These are the two scenarios. You keep him and you don't win, or you let him walk and he's great somewhere else and you got absolutely nothing. The best case scenario is they should trade him and get something. Imagine you let him walk for nothing. That's like letting Brady and Michael Jordan walk in their primes without a fight. Like, they should trade him, but I mean, any one of those 3 options are a lose-lose for them because neither one of those options are going to lead them to a World Series.
So it's both, and I'm going to explain it why, and I'm going to say it one last time. The Angels, I have a feeling he's going to walk, right? So the Angels aren't going to win this year. They need to make him an offer now that is a Godfather type offer, JT, an offer he can't refuse. We're going 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, 500 million, 600 million. You can't lose him. This guy's an international sensation that you can't even, I don't even think you can put a dollar amount on how much the marketing, how much revenue he brings in for baseball, let alone the Angels. So you got to make him an offer he can't refuse that he's like, you know what? I don't even know if the Yankees or Dodgers are willing to put $500-600 million down on me. That's the first thing you got to do. And if he says no, if he rejects the Godfather type offer, then you trade it because you're right. Because at that point, you can't let him walk for nothing. And you've got to get something for Shohei. But the first thing you got to do is you got to try to keep him because you can build around him.
No.
I'll tell you what. Right
I think
now.
you trade. I think you trade him because if you haven't been able to win anything with him and Mike Trout together, then that tells you that you need to go in a different direction. Now it sucks. It sucks because
you got to trade Trout while he has that potential ridiculous Kings.
But don't nobody want Trout. They know you got Ohtani. They want that one.
That's BS. I'll tell you what. Right now, if he could patrol center field at
Yankee
Stadium,
if you could trade Mike Trout, it would be the Yankees, and I don't think the Yankees would be like, no, we're not interested in that Trout. What about that Ohtani?
They would go Trout to maintain center field because of the legends that patrolled center field at Yankee Stadium. And Jackson Curtis, I agree. Trading Ohtani is basically punting the rest of Trout's career, although holding and missing the playoffs would be as well. I mean, listen. You have, as a front office, you got to do a better job putting pieces around Trout and Ohtani. What can I say? You have two of the gems of baseball in the past like 25 years. You're not doing anything good around them. And then our guy Scott as well says can't trade him, worse PR than having him leave. It's like the Sox trading Babe Ruth. If you trade him, you have to blow it up. I agree. That's what I'm trying to say. It's too much value in him. And then Scott also says Trout should go home to the Phillies if he's leaving. There you go. Trade him to the Phillies. Phillies willing to give up a king's ransom for him too. And I'll tell you this right now, JT, Shohei Ohtani, top 5 player of all time. There's no doubt about it. The things he is doing, Babe Ruth wasn't even doing, especially on the mound.
Should the Angels should the Angels trade Mike Trout to the Pirates for Brian Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz?
Just for those two guys?
Two young guys like that, and then you sign Ohtani to a big deal, maybe. But that's what you got to do. But that kind of stuff doesn't happen in real life. That happens on video games. But that's what I'll be looking to do is like, if you're going to trade Trout, take a chance on a team that has 2 up-and-coming stars that are probably going to be cheap for a while. And then say we get that deal done, and then we offer Ohtani the Godfather deal, like you said.
I don't think I would do that if I was the Angels. Like I'd want some major league guys, but I want some prospects too. Like just because I think you can get a little bit more for Trout. I think maybe not.
I think that market for Trout is not as big as you think it is.
He's
30. I digress.
He's 31, and like people want to say, "Oh, he's beat up and this and that." It's like, come on, man. We hear that all the time, but like, he'll be fine. He's 31. Right. Yeah, we're acting like he's 41.
Next one. Andrew Luck is a Hall of Famer. Forget about it, Fugazi.
JT, I gotta give you credit. Every once in a while, you come up with one that I gotta really think about. Like the Don of sports has to really think about, do the research. Man, this was a tough one. I'm gonna say Fugazi. JT, he only played 6 seasons. Terrell Davis struggled to get in. He got in eventually at 7. Calvin Johnson played 9. But Terrell Davis, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 2,000-yard type of season. Calvin Johnson, we know the ridiculous stats he put up. Luck, he just doesn't – I can't justify putting him in with the stats in this era. If he did these stats, 171 touchdowns, 23,671 passing yards with 83 interceptions, though. But if he did those stats in the 70s, yeah, he's in. But you can't
be all-decade team member.
Yeah. You can't put him in after just 6 years because you'd be setting such a precedence that now everybody would almost be like, you know what? I'm good enough after 6 years. I'll get in. What about 5? What if someone plays 5 years and does these stats?
But you know what,
should
though?
They get in?
But you know what, though? And I talked to you about this when it happened. This is the Calvin Johnson effect because everyone's like, oh, we love Calvin Johnson. He's such a freak. And he put up some good numbers. But really, it wasn't first ballot worthy if we're being honest about it.
But I'm not even saying first ballot. I'm saying
but that's the slippery slope that this has started. It's Fugazi because everything you said. Terrell Davis got in because the criteria for a running back to play in the NFL for an amount of years is much smaller than a quarterback. Like you're talking about guys that have played 15 years or more, and you got to win Super Bowls. That's the criteria for a quarterback with the stats. That's why last time we did a show, we talked about Eli Manning because he had a long career, had the stats, and had the Super Bowls. Andrew Luck does not have most of that stuff, so it's Fugazi. Even though at his peak, some of the guys that are considered going to the Hall of Fame, he might have been better than Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Joe Namath, Jim Kelly, Troy Aikman. Like he might have actually been better quarterbacks than those guys, but those guys played longer and they have more hardware.
But I've always said it, and this is why I love Frank Gore in terms of his playing. Longevity. Longevity is a key in the NFL, in any sport. Sorry. It's almost like a criteria when you're that good. But you said it. It's those milestones. Terrell Davis, 2,000 yards, MVP, 2 Super Bowl titles. Like
running back
got nothing like that.
Running back shorter.
Right. And his stats compare. He had like 7,000 rushing yards. Like you go look at the record books, his name's up there. Andrew Luck with 23,000 passing yards. JT, he's nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. In 15 years, this is always my
It's sad because they thought he was going to be a Hall of Famer when he came into the league. I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you this next one just because I don't want you getting confused.
No, we can skip it. We can skip it.
No. I already talked about it, but let me ask you this. Ime Udoka saying he wasn't interested in coaching James Harden was the right move by the Rockets. Forget about it or Fugazi.
Forget about it. I told you this. Why would the Rockets want Harden? There's no reason for it. So Ime did them a favor, right? And he kind of made the decision for them. Let's forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. Like, Ime know what's up. This dude was coming here to get the bag, not win, and go to the strip club. He ain't got time for that.
Well, our guy Scott says if luck is in, you have to put guys in like Drew Bledsoe, put him in the Architects Hall of Fame instead.
I agree.
All right, next one. Dame refusing to report to any team he is traded to, not named JT's Miami Heat, is awesome.
Forget about it. Of course, man. If we always talk about player empowerment, this is what we had in mind. The guy that everybody loves and wants to go get a title gets to pick where he wants to go win that championship. Yes, forget about it.
You know, JT, you spelled forget about it wrong again. You keep doing this, I'm going to start fining you. Anyway, this is Fugazi. You know why? Because I can't stand when a player comes out and
you can't stand that he's not going to the Magic. Like, why would he not consider playing with Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., Franz Wagner? Like, who doesn't want to go play for the Magic? That's exactly why you can't stand this.
Do people forget that Orlando is in Florida? It's a tax-free state. Miami, Orlando, you make the same money. Anyway,
but the money don't feel the same. The money don't feel the same in Orlando.
You're right. It goes much further. It goes much further in Orlando. That's why you moved up there. So,
hey man, hey, look, Dame don't got my kind of problems.
Show us your house. Show us your mansion. So listen, the reason why I don't like this is I can't stand when players tank their own value. I saw with Dwight Howard. It's annoying. Just talk to the team, get to where you want to go, and force their hand behind closed doors and just say, I'm not showing up to that team. And as soon as you trade me or I hear rumors, I'm going to call that team personally, my agent, and tell them. And that's not tampering because my agent's reaching out because you're making deals. So
I swear you watch these TV shows too much. You're like, oh, the agent can do X, Y, and Z, man. The agent, when you're a Damian Lillard, he does what you tell him. He's saying, get me the hell out of get me to Miami. So they're making it happen.
But listen, you tank the value, and that's just annoying. As a fan, I can't stand that. Dwight Howard did it, and guess what? We got almost zero in return for him. Like
you can't stand Dame calling his own shot, going to Miami, and you couldn't stand Dwight Howard calling his shot, wanting to get out of Orlando. I'm sensing a pattern here. It's people don't want to play for the Magic. Next one. Let's move on.
You're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying completely well. Can we go to the next one, please?
No, you're not. Let me no, because I'm going to finish. Because I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to say, I'm only going to Miami. Just do it behind closed doors. Why is it getting out? Why is it coming out? Like, put it behind closed doors. That way they get the most out of the value. All right, next one, you're up.
Oh my gosh. Justin Jefferson not including Kirk Cousins in his top 5 quarterbacks is a sign it's over in Minnesota. Forget about it or Fugazi.
Forget about it. It's been over. It's over. Cousins is on the last year of his deal. He's gone after this year. Justin Jefferson, you might not have him on your top 5, but you better pray that Minnesota knows what they're doing with their quarterback situation. If not, you're going to be asking to be out of Minnesota soon because you got no quarterback.
You're right. I rarely agree with you, but this is forget about it. And it has everything to do with the structure of the team. Like you said, Kirk Cousins, last year of his deal, there's already a bidding war for him out west, so he's probably not coming back.
That's the JT manufactured bidding war.
No, this is real. But here's the thing too. I think this is Justin Jefferson looking out for himself in 2 ways. One, to let other quarterbacks know, like, hey, I see you, I like you. There's going to be a vacancy if I stay. Come join me, a la AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, how they kind of worked that out to get together on the same team. But also, this is what happens with receivers. They need to go get good quarterbacks because every receiver that's a star goes through this. Stephon Diggs is going through this right now. You're a star receiver. They love you in the beginning. But when your team doesn't win, the blame is going to come to you first before it gets to the quarterback. So I think Justin Jefferson's like, let me set myself up if I'm going to sign long-term to where I can play with a good quarterback so I can at least have a chance to win. Because It's lonely making that money as a receiver and not winning any games. Ask Calvin Johnson. It's not the same in the NFL. But I agree with everything you said, though. He is trying to set himself up for success because Cousins is leaving.
But I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying he better hope there's a good succession plan, because if not,
you better hope the new quarterback is as good as Kirk Cousins, because you draft this guy high, he turns into Trey Lance, and then all of a sudden, you catching 900 yards for 6 touchdowns, and everybody's like, "What the hell happened to Justin Jefferson?"
Yep, that's my point. All right, last one to forget about it for Fugazi. Kansas City Chiefs winning the ESPY for best team was the right call.
What were the other options? I mean, I guess forget about it, because I mean, it's the Chiefs.
It was Vegas Knights. I think it was maybe the Vegas Aces. It was LSU
championship.
LSU Tigers, Oklahoma softball, Georgia Bulldogs football.
I would have said this. I probably would have gone with either the Vegas Knights, as much as that pissed me off just because of just how far they come in 6 years as a new team, and then the LSU Tigers. It was such a big story, and like, it might have been the greatest college championship game we've ever seen. So I probably would have picked those two over the Chiefs. But the Chiefs and Eagles was a great game too, and that was a brilliant performance. So I guess you can't go wrong, but that wouldn't have been my pick. So I guess Fugazi.
Yeah, I say Fugazi. I think it should have been Oklahoma University softball. 53 consecutive victories, third title in a row. Like, listen, I don't know who won the ESPY last year. Maybe it was them. It doesn't matter. When you follow it up with that performance, and they lost their best player. I mean, they lost their best pitcher last year.
I mean, can we say this too? Oklahoma softball has been so dominant. Like, I don't even know why other teams are showing up. Like, they're winning so much. Like, they should take a COVID year. Like, just let Oklahoma graduate. Let's give them a couple titles, and let's come back and regroup in 4 years when this is done. Like, they've been so dominant. It's crazy.
Got to play to win. You got to play the game to have a chance to win, though, JT. That's why they play any given day. All right, last segment. The Women's World Cup begins next Thursday, a week from today, July 20, and we'll conclude with the final on August 20th. So a great month of soccer. The U.S. women's team enters as the favorite, according to Caesars Sportsbook, at plus 225. JT, I know you're a professional gambler, but to explain to the people at home, plus 225 means you put 100 down, you win 225 if the U.S. women's team takes it all the way. So for
I'm the gambler, but thank you for the greatest.
For every 100, you win 225. So first prediction, we're going to do 2 predictions here. First one is, who you got in the finals and who wins?
So obviously I'm picking the USA, and it was really hard to decide on who that second team was, because there's some other really good teams in here, but I'm going to go with Germany. I think it's going to be USA versus Germany.
You stole my thunder. I got USA.
Oh, is that what you picked?
And you got USA winning, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right, done. Next one.
Hold on, tell me. And I have a feeling I know why you picked Germany too, because you always want to look at the odds and be like, all right, which one could I hit the most out of these top teams that are not number one? Germany is sitting right there. I like where they are in the bracket. I can see myself making some money off of this.
Nah, that's not what I did there. You got to look at where they're at on the bracket. USA's on one side. Germany, I think England's on the other side there too, but I think Germany's a little stronger than England on the other side. So that's why I went Germany. I actually didn't look at – I saw the stats. I saw the odds for U.S., but not Germany. I didn't want it to sway my opinion.
Like 4th best odds to win.
I didn't want it to sway my opinion.
That's why I was like, "Ooh, that's a sneaky one. I like that." I looked at the bracket. I was like, I like their chances to get to the final.
What's their odds to win? What were the odds?
I forgot, but I think they were like 4th or 5th.
4th or 5th?
Yeah,
but you don't know what the actual odds are?
No, I don't know. I know the one you said about USA, but
okay. So our guy Scotty again, Don, DC bars are allowed to stay open 24/7 next for the Women's World Cup.
Don't worry, he won't be there.
Scotty, when we going?
He'll be in bed by 9 o'clock right after this show. He will not be at the bar, so don't even worry about it.
Because it's in Australia, though, I think games start at like 7 a.m. here. So, Scotty, hit me up. We'll go catch a U.S. game somewhere and go root them home.
Oh, don't fall for that trap. He will be up at 6 a.m. He will have already gone to church, got his run in, and ready for the game at 8 o'clock. Do not fall for this because he will be up and knocking on your door.
Perfect. Appetizers at 8 a.m. All right. So one more prediction. Who wins the World Cup Golden Ball, which goes to the best player in the tournament? There's a lot of good players out there that could possibly win this. Who you got?
It's tough, man, because I want to pick Rapinoe just because it's her last ride, but I don't think she's going to do it. I mean, Alex Morgan, but it was really hard for me to pick one because I think she has the best odds, but the ones behind her, the odds weren't great, but they're good players too. But I'm just going to go with Alex Morgan just because I want to see a U.S. player win it, and it would be great if it was Rapinoe, but I think realistically Morgan has the best shot.
So I'm going to go outside the U.S. I'm going to go with Sam Kerr, who plays for Australia. I think with them having the tournament there, she's a great player. I just feel like even though maybe Australia won't win the title, they can go far enough and she can be that leader. That
she can be Mike Trout.
All the eyes and she kind of steals the show, even though hopefully the U.S. wins it. But that's the thing. Maybe she can steal that show. They can get into the semifinals maybe, and being at home, she can, win the golden ball. And Scotty, I like the way you think. Let's hit a 3 a.m. game. Let's go, USA. JT, any other predictions you want to make? I think we're good.
Yeah. So, I totally forgot. We talked about this. The Fulton Inouye fight, I believe, is on the 25th. It's coming up. It's at 9 a.m. though.
We got time.
No, it's at 9. It's at 9 a.m. because you guys are talking about watching things early. Will you be getting up to watch that fight at 9 a.m.?
JT,
first of all, do you have ESPN Plus?
What kind of question is that?
Do you have ESPN Plus? Do you have it? Yes or no?
Yeah,
I will be contacting you for a login. I
was gonna say I have one. I'm not giving it to you after how disrespectful you were on tonight's show. I'm not sending it to you.
Bro, all the passwords I've shared with you in the past. Come on, man.
What? You have my Stars password.
Your Stars password. First of all, that don't belong to you. So don't try to claim joint ownership of the Stars password. Don't do that. But no, wow. hey, thanks, man. Just text me the ESPN Plus. I will be up at 9 a.m. I'll probably have brunch ready and stuff like that. I can't wait to watch this fight. We are going to talk about that.
I'm sending it right now. We will. Next week, we'll be talking about it. Plus, we're going to highlight another big fight coming up. The Bud Crawford, Ariel Spence. We'll talk about those fights next Thursday. But yes, I will be watching Inouye. And JT, most people on the East Coast, they're up before 9. You know why? Because they work. They have to go into the office, unlike you, who's on a permanent vacation. Like, I don't understand. It's 9 o'clock. Are you going to be up? It's a Tuesday morning. Yeah, of course. Of course. Oh, already put 2 hours of work in.
First of all, you sound so salty in everything you say, and I do have a job. You got these people out here thinking I don't work, and that's why I say I need to take your son to work day, and I'm gonna bring you to work so you see exactly what I do. You might not like the time constraints of how things work out on a day-to-day basis, but this is work. So I'm gonna invite you down, and I'm gonna show you a day of how I work, and you're gonna be like, oh, I can't wait to go back to my regular job.
Please do, because you work in the mansion. So what are we're gonna hang out in your state-of-the-art gym facility there? Yeah,
no,
great.
We're gonna do work.
We're gonna get work in the gym. I don't understand. I've seen you work. I've seen
wrap this up. He's just not gonna admit it. He's not gonna admit it.
I won. Look, he's saying end the show. That means I won.
End the show.
Once again,
wrap it up.
I stay undefeated. All right, man. Great episode though, JT, and to all the fans and listeners out there, thank you for always for listening. Sending your comments. Thank you. And remember, please subscribe to his JT and the Dawn All Sports podcast. We can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and whatever platform you find all of your other favorite podcasts. And remember, if you like what we do, leave us a 5-star review. And JT,
if you don't like what we do,
leave us a 5-star review. Remember, we are presented by Give Us a Shot Network. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. And remember, we are also on social media. You can find us, our handle, JT and the Dawn. We are on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. So, JT, a lot of fun. Have a great weekend, man. And until the next episode, see ya.
Peace.